Hello and welcome to the Catholic Conference Recap with Eddie Wilson from the Eddie Wilson channel and
Poppy from the Popi and Chulo Show. Eddie, I'm so thankful that you are collabing with me right now. We just met this weekend.
today.
Today. It's been an excellent conference so far. We immediately connected, just two bros looking for direction, for guidance, to be in a similar room with just people who do this and have the same heart, a passion for just serving people, the community of God. So yeah.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. If you ask for it, asking you shall receive. But if you sincerely ask and it is the right kind of path, you're going to find similar type of people that are looking for that. And, I've only been here a day. So partially you're going to help catch me up a little bit on what happened the past couple of days. But even just being here one day and we start talking to each other, it's like, oh, yeah, that reminds me of this episode that I did or an episode that I did. So we're having the same conversation, but we haven't crossed paths yet. And I think it's really important for people like us to cross paths because I know stuff that you don't know. You know stuff that I don't know. You're on a different journey. I'm on a different journey, but it all kind of ends up to the narrow gate.
Yeah. So Thursday it happened, starting, and it was cute to see the same thing as last year. Even myself, the people, the podcasters coming in. Some have 100 subscribers, some have 500 subscribers, some have 50,000, right? And then there's people like us who maybe just have like barely 100, barely 50. But no one's treated differently. Everybody's treated the same in charity. And so people walk in with a little bit nerves, but eagerness, and everybody's a student here, and everybody's charitable here. So it's a very welcoming environment. That's what happened on Thursday. There was a panel of 3 or 4 established podcasters just answering Q&As, telling their stories. So it was very chill, very relaxed. And then the cigar bar, and that was cool, even more relaxed. And people just got to meet each other. I think it's also good for us because, normally if we're trying to do our own podcast, we don't necessarily focus on networking. But there really is so much opportunity to network because you can learn from other people. You can learn how they do their things, what technology they use, what programs they use. So it really is important for that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this journey kind of like alone, and it's way more fun to have somebody be like, "Oh no, yeah, let's do it right now."
Yeah, even in seeing you set up, I'm like, oh, you got the technology here. That's pretty good, man. You're a real deal.
Because right, we just meet and I'll tell you my story, you tell me your story, but it's a lot of blah 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 blah. It's when you see, all right, let me see you in action a little bit. I don't need to see you save the world, but like, let me see your process for how you do things and how you present yourself. Right, to see each other in action, I think is more encouraging. It's like, all right, good. This is what I'm looking for. I want to work with this person, because they're willing to put initiative in. And I think initiative is something that's lacking, at least in my generation, I think.
One tip that I know happened last year is like, sometimes people think I have this message that I want to convey. What do I need? It requires so much financial commitment from me. No, at the end of the day, all you need is your phone, even if it's a Samsung iPhone. You plop it right there. The speaker today, I forget her channel, but supposedly she used to have a cooking channel that really blew up, became in the Catholic world, or she identified as Catholic, and she had many people of all backgrounds as fans that used to watch her Twitch stream. And the way she said it, she's like, I put the phone on top of the Bible, the anatomy book, because she was teaching science and she was homeschooling her kids, and then some other historical book. So yeah, humble beginnings, and it's beautiful. That's all you need if you wanted to be an influencer, hopefully with a good message to convey. So what's something that kind of struck you since yesterday or today in one of the lectures or?
The energy of Keith Nestor. I mean, Keith Nestor, his podcast with Kyle was the reason that I even knew this existed. I didn't know this conference existed, even though this is exactly what I was looking for. So when they brought it up and they were talking about it, I was like, that's the place that I got to go. And I was, what was the original question?
What's something that stuck out during these last couple
days? Watch Keith, he's doing his podcast, right? It's a different style to when he is presenting. Like when he presented today, it was with like such vibrance. It made me feel inept as a what we're doing here, because part of this is an entertainment.
You felt exactly what I felt. It's like we're both being inspired at the same time because he's such a great motivator. And at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, will I ever reach that point, that awesomeness that he has, that presentation, his body language, his long flowing hair.
No, but he believes it.
He believes it. And that's even, he believes it. And then you believe it too, that he believes it. Yeah.
I just want to believe in what I'm doing here, like a quarter as much, and I'll be pretty successful.
But you know what? I think we are surrounded by good company, because I'm pretty sure any great saint will say, I'm not big potatoes. I'm not a big apple. I'm just like a simple person.
I think that's the thing about looking up. Like
Mhm.
if you, because a lot of people like to condescend, especially to other people, especially when they're in a dark place. They
Mhm.
could at least be like, ah, at least I'm not that bad. But
Mhm.
when you focus on looking up and who's climbed the mountain, certain spots, certain people, saints, they reach higher than we've reached. So
Mhm.
when you take a look up there, you can't help but be humble. It's like I'll never be as good as that, but what can I learn from? I can learn something from him. So if I'm taking one of his best attributes,
Yeah.
then they can help me climb a ladder, and we're dragging each other up towards the same mountain. I think.
That's great, dude. Let me pry a bit. I kind of am curious. I'm getting to know you. I already watched one of his episodes that, where you talk about your conversion story. It actually got me emotional. Um, what inspired you to even start a podcast?
Okay, so I'm a fireman by trade. So I come from a family of firemen, so I'm a third generation fireman. My grandfather went all the way up to chief. So that's a lot of studying. It's a lot of you're taking a leadership role, and as a fireman, just a regular fireman, you have a lot of responsibility on you. As you climb that ladder, you're responsible for more than just you.
Mhm.
Then it's a few guys, then it's tens of guys, then it's hundreds of guys. The higher you climb up the ladder, so to get ready for that test, there's an oral presentation where you have to talk for 20 minutes to
Mhm.
a camera.
Really?
Yeah, so they ask you questions and you have to answer them. 10
Wow.
minutes here for these 3 questions, and then you have another 10 minutes for these 3 questions. And they're trying to see not only do you know what you're doing, can you present yourself well? Are you going to be able to articulate what needs to be done in a timely fashion? Because we have problem solving, you have minutes to figure out. Like the first few minutes of a fire are the most important to get right. Because if
Yeah.
you get that wrong, then everything else follows. So you have to do fast problem solving. So they want to see that in action. All right, here's the worst case scenario. Who are you calling? How are you going to do everything? And can you do it without touching your face or saying and ah all the time? So I was already practicing all that. So once I took the test, I was like, wow, I have this like new skill set because I was recording myself and I would listen to myself talk, and that's a good way for you to stop doing the and ahhing and whatever you do, like ticks you do. You sit and you meticulously edit and see. Like I tried to edit it so that I sounded perfect, so that when I'm listening to myself in the car over and over, I'm listening to myself do it right. So then when I come back and I'm talking, I try not to do that wrong anymore. So I was just building a skill set. So I thought, oh man, I love listening to podcasts.
Mhm.
And I listen to, I don't know if you know Ari Shafir is a comedian.
No, no, no.
He's in the Joe Rogan Shafir.
Okay.
And he just gave me exact list. This is the equipment you need to have a decent audio sound, audio only. Here it is. Buy this, this, and this, and then do it like this. I was like, all right, I did. I bought it, and I was like, all right, what am I doing this for? I just want to make home instead of home movies, it's home podcasts. Me and my wife sit on the couch. What like here's a snapshot of our life. We're this age, we have these kids, whatever. It was just home, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we just started having random conversations like all podcasts are. It just bleeds into something else, stories and things.
So you started with your wife then?
Yeah,
Oh.
just for private. And then I sent it to my buddy, and he's like, "Hey, I like listening to this. Like you're good at this. Why don't we do this together for my business?" And I was like, "Ah, I don't want to be public. Like I'm a very private
Yeah, yeah.
person. Even now, even trying to be public, this is the fight that I'm having.
Yeah.
Is I don't have Facebook or Instagram that I really pay attention to.
Mhm.
It's really I pay attention to Twitter for news, YouTube for this Catholic content, and then TikTok for me and my wife's joke videos that we send. But besides that, I'm not giving people political takes, religious takes, like
Yeah.
people that know me, not on the
Yeah.
internet.
And then today we heard those horror stories of the
Sure.
two speakers. One lady got swatted, and when she got swatted, luckily the police called her ahead of time and said, "Hey, we need you to come to the front." Well, she had a knife in her hand because she was cooking, because she runs a cooking show. But what would have happened if she were the one still holding the knife, right? So praise God that nothing happened with that. And then some other weird stuff happened to the other speaker as well. So yes, to put yourself in the public view, it was scary for those couple
Yeah,
of
so
minutes.
that's why I said to him, "No, I'm not doing that. That's
Mhm.
too much responsibility.
Mhm.
I'm afraid of what I might say because you got to filter yourself
Yeah.
for sure." But he eventually convinced me because COVID happened. He had all this free time, so we just met up together and we were just making podcasts. And
Mhm.
eventually, we started having guests on. I got better equipment,
Yeah.
and it was just fun getting to know these people, having these conversations. It was, but then everything went back to normal, kind of as normal as it could be, and he has no time for it anymore. So it's like, all right, well, my partner in crime's gone. I'm kind of on hiatus. And then that story that you watched was from that, like me trying to figure it out on my own. Like I didn't have a sense of direction like I do now. I was just kind of like, all right, I'll interview anybody. Just if I'm
Mhm.
interested in them, I'll talk to them. It doesn't really have a through thread except they know me,
Yeah.
right? And then I had my reversion. Like then I had the reversion and I was doing that, but then I got more involved in the sacraments. taking it more seriously,
Mhm.
getting involved. The wife started teaching CCD again, and that kind of just brought me closer and closer. And then it's like, all right, maybe I should focus more on my faith. Like there's a lot of things that I'm not doing right. I'm not even a minimum Catholic. Like, let me just reach the minimums.
Mhm.
As I started to reach the minimums, and I'm reading these, I'm reading confessions, and I'm like crying. I'm like, why am I crying at this? This is so close. This is so close to me, And this guy lived in the year 400.
Mhm.
How? It's so beautiful, and I want to act like this guy more. I want to talk to this guy. And you use tools like ChatGPT, and I tell him to act like Saint Augustine. And it's just fun. You can have such fun conversations with that.
Oh,
If you
wow.
do it in a way to check it. All right, well, show through Scripture how this is true, or show through the Catechism. Use both combined. All right, show the rebuttal to how this is wrong. Like how you interact with AI and stuff is direct reflection of how deep and honest you want to be with yourself. Like, do you really want to know the counter arguments? Like, do you really want to know the best counter argument to what you believe? Some people don't. Some people just say, "Nah, don't even worry about it."
A very interesting Instagram post that I saw was somebody asking AI, if you were the devil, how would you lead men specifically to their damnation? And the things you would that I saw, in a couple slides, I was like, OMG. OMG. If this is an AI drawing from all the resources that it knows historically of humanity, then it's hitting it on the mark. And what would the devil do is hitting it on the mark.
He's doing it. He's in the middle of it, and a lot of it works.
Yeah.
But once I started watching the Catholic content, the things that jumped out to me first was The Exorcists. Because I didn't believe for a while in my life, and the exorcism was like the furthest thing. It's like, yeah, that is as fiction as it could be.
Yeah.
But then it's like, what if they're right? Like, if I honestly ask, what if they're right? Now they're the most interesting person in the world to me. And now I'm watching what they're doing and how how a seasoned exorcist looks at the devil. It gives you confidence because you're like, oh, that guy's not even scared. Like, he doesn't even take that serious in that way. Like, as long as you stick to what he says, the prayers, Mary, like the devil hates Mary.
Mhm.
So just get closer to her. So as you do these devotionals and as you see all this stuff we do as Catholics, it makes more and more sense when you see what we're combating. Because I do think it's a spiritual warfare that just most of the combatants don't even know they're part of.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So my take for myself for the podcast that I run, I'm Poppy from the Popi Chulo Show. Yeah, I think for me as well, attire is important. I do try to present myself with a certain trendy way. I do appreciate that. I don't know if you noticed
No, I know. Yeah, I did.
my attire yesterday.
So I got my wife bought this for me.
My attire yesterday was a red white brim hat with white shirt, red pants.
Yeah, we
black
were.
shoes.
I mean, we were always going to be friends. Like, if I would have saw you yesterday, I would have walked up to you yesterday.
And you know that fancy scarf that the Russians wear, like a scarf that just makes it look lavish.
I'd have to say.
Well,
Go ahead, let's keep talking. I'll get it.
Yeah. So, anywho, I mean, that's just attire. But the Popi and Chulo Show caters towards young men. That's what we're aiming for, to serve young men, because we were there before. We know how difficult it is. We've suffered. So we want to just join them in their journey. We want to affirm them and regain the trust lost from women. How do we do that? We talk about just secular themes, themes that hits every young man, whether it's no, don't worry about it. It's love, loss, what's true joy, suffering. How do we suffer well? We can't escape it. So what do the greats say about it? So it really isn't a blatantly Catholic channel. We want to just be two mainstream bros, almost like a Joe Rogan approach, where we just want to be reasonable. What does common sense say about this? And we hope that people can see that common sense and we catch them where they're at. We also do definitely draw from Catholicity, our Catholicity. And for suffering, for example, it's a perfect example for Buddhists. What do the Buddhists say? They say, well, suffering is due to your human desire. So therefore, to get rid of suffering, you need to get rid of your human desire. We're like, no, then you're denying reality, bro. What did the Catholics say? It's like, okay, suffering is a consequence of original sin. It just sucks. We're there. There's no going back. But it's there. And what did Christ provide? But a means for using suffering for the sanctification of our souls, so that we could be in perfect communion with God, where there's just ultimate peace, ultimate tranquility, full communion. You will never feel a loss or hurt. You will attain what you put your full efforts for. So doesn't that sound so much more beautiful? I would say it almost sounds more reasonable, because I don't think an atheist can answer why there is human suffering, other than it's just neurotransmitters.
Say
Click,
randomness,
yeah.
evolution. This is what they would say. Listen, I've had many of these conversations.
Okay.
Believe me. What they would say is we've evolved for it to be that way. It's survival. Basically, survival instincts is the driving factor. We want to survive so bad that love exists. And that's just the mechanism that we use, but they don't understand that where the love comes from. They don't understand the external. Everything is within the material world. It's all created. There is no uncreated things.
And I'm sure they would say like a pain stimulant. Well, that's due to if it hurts, that means you should avoid it so you can survive. Yeah. So they'll reduce everything.
But that stuff, it doesn't explain martyrs. You know,
there could be a defective product here and there. That's one way to say it.
But then why would Christianity grow so much if our main guy is the martyr of all martyrs? And why is it the greatest of all the religions?
We could have rationality, but we'd also be misled. I'm sure they have their way to go around it all. But obviously at the end, I think that they, if we were to really dive deep in this, there really is gaps and holes in their argument.
At the end of the day, they just don't think it's necessary. That's what I always run into. It's like, yeah, you do it that way, nice for you, but I can do it this way. Like, look how far I've gotten doing what I do.
Here we go. Their gap is this: they could literally reduce everything, even acts of saving your child's life. They could even reduce that to, well, you're just trying to preserve your genetic replication, and you're also programmed to that way. So it makes sense why you did what you did. But if you truly live, let's just say, in such a negative mindset, then how could you ever feel value about anything? And they'll succumb to their own. There's nothing worth living for. If everything is just like survival of the fittest, I'm just doing this to replicate. There really is no value to like my life. Like
you got to create the value. That's what I would say. Value is created, not found.
And even then, they'll say that that's genetic. You're just inclined to create value. I could just see that being like almost.
Did you ever believe stuff like that though?
I've dabbled in that in some of my younger days, but I'm very lucky that my formation happened here at Franciscan.
Blessed. That's the word I use because luck is a word that when I was secular,
you're right,
never really made sense to me. I thought luck was random. Like I didn't think you could manufacture luck. I just didn't understand it. As a concept, it doesn't make sense to me. It's really blessings. Like you don't know who's in heaven praying for you. You didn't know that. I didn't know that my mother Mary was up there praying for me to come back and to pray. And like I didn't understand the people in my life that took her so serious because you're not paying attention to it. But once you start to pay attention, then you recognize the other people. Oh, I didn't know that person. And you start to know people a little bit more and understand like, oh, they're just suffering. Like sometimes people will keep it to themselves a little too much though. Like I feel like in my family, like, I've had a lot of different incidents, loss of loved ones, and the grieving process. My family's not great at
it. Did you say you lost your grandfather a while ago?
Yeah, I lost my grandfather when I was a teenager, so that was my first real brush with death. Like, oh, this ends. Like it could end.
So you hinted at that in our conversation, and then I heard your one of your podcasts, and this is random, but I kind of just like instinctively when I was hearing your podcast and you were being emotional, I was like, and you were talking about your grandfather, I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure he's pretty darn proud of him right now, and I was like, oh, I should probably tell him, dude. Yeah. Your abuelito, your granddad, he's probably super proud of you right now.
That's what my grandmother, she lives with me. She still says that. I mean, she's not all the way there, but she knows that I'm studying to get to chief. And she tells me all the time, like she knows that I made it up one rank so far. And she said, he's so proud of you.
Well, I mean, I'm sure. Well, of course, fireman's family legacy right there. Of course, proud of that. But I'm talking about your conversion.
For sure,
yeah. Probably even more proud about that, Yeah, I mean, of course, he's in heaven.
The thing is, my grandma, like, she'll repeat the same thing 20 times, but that thing, that there's still her in there that remembers, like what this is for. Like when she comes to church sometimes, she remembers every single word of the songs. She's singing the loudest, and I'm doing it for the old people. I do want to make the old people proud. I think my generation, right, our generation, they have a tendency to say, no, I did it by myself, like me. I did it. Look what I did. Like look what you did, but look, I did this on my own. Like there's some kind of pride that comes in with like being able to stand by yourself. Like when it's the complete opposite, you should be giving it up together. Like when I talked to the priest, when I came back to my first confession, he was telling me about how important communal prayer is. Cause I was trying to say like, so if I become like, the more holy you become, the more powerful your prayers are. Cause that passage in the Bible, and he was telling me like there's no individual person's prayer that's ever going to be more powerful than us praying together as a community, and that's it. That's what I was missing. It's like I'm focused so much on me. How do I fix me? How do I become me? What I'm supposed to be, as opposed to like how am I supposed to serve God? How am I supposed to serve my mother? How am I supposed to serve my wife, my kids, people that I don't like? How am I supposed to serve the person I don't like? I still struggle that one. It's the toughest. But that's what we're called to do. We're called to serve that person, to help lift them up. You stand on my shoulders. You go first.
Yeah. Right on, man. Right on. That was one theme. That is the goal of the podcast conference. When I arrived last year to the event last year, I was kind of confused as to why they have such an emphasis of unity. Well, these were established podcasters that noticed that there was disunity amongst the Catholic podcasters. And what's the one refrain is like, we're one church. We're one church. So I may not like you, but you're still my brother. And that's what they were trying. That's why their emphasis is unity, communion. So it totally makes more sense to me now that they're emphasizing it now, because unfortunately, what does the podcasting world do? Very much reactionary videos, very much assessments, and unfortunately, they do tend to bring more clicks, But they were really good mentors in pointing out the differences. It's like, you have to ask yourself if this is for the sake of the kingdom or if this is just for clicks. So yes, it is beautiful, this aspect of unity that you're kind of saying with your family as well, but at least for the podcasters, it's the same thing. And that's what I mean, I'm small potatoes right now with my co-host, but God willing, something happens in my message.
That's what we're here. That's what we're doing. Was the main thing I took away from this conference. I came into this conference looking for a new buddy to work with.
We're Jersey boys, by the way. We're both Jersey boys. I grew up there. I'm born in Peru, but I grew up in Jersey.
But it started.
We even have a similar lingo now that we're talking about. And I'm like the way.
That's what I'm saying. See, my Jersey is rubbing off. He's remembering. He's coming back to the way it's supposed to be. But listen, the thunder and lightning, it's literally behind us. It's gonna rain. We're gonna wrap this up though, because I don't. What else? But here's the thing. This isn't the last time we're gonna talk, right?
No.
All right, good. So we're gonna keep working together. Big shout out to Kyle for putting all this together. Drew, Haley. Oh, there's too many people to name. Wonderful conference. I'm definitely gonna be back next year.
Awesome.
You're coming back, right?
I live here, man. I live here.
He's got to come. So imagine if you didn't show up. It's like, oh, kind of good. I still feel like going.
No, I'm eager, man. I'm eager. Yeah.
All right. So, the thunder is scaring me. That's scaring me. We got to get this going. Thanks for listening. And make sure you check us out. There's going to be links to this in the YouTube.
The Popi and Chulo Show. See you there.
Carry on. Don't you know my life has been a book for you? Reading all the chapters, making mistakes my whole life through. I just want to thank you, Lord, for forgiving me my iniquities of my own. Don't you know I hate it when I go